$260,000 US in a single month. That was our record month, and it just so happened to be right on top of the exact month that I decided to devote a lot of energy and money to a short form content storm. Just so you know what I do and what I sell, we help people start and grow online coaching and consulting businesses. We've got a really expensive coaching program that's not for everybody, where we basically partner with you and help you start that. Figured it'd be helpful for you to know what it was that I'm selling that actually made the short form make me money. So in today's video, I'm gonna talk about how to use short form content, particularly Reels, TikTok, and YouTube Shorts, to actually drive revenue for your online coaching, consulting course business or service-based business or whatever it is you happen to be selling. Even if you're selling something outside of that range, this could also apply to you. So I really want to talk about two primary concepts that allowed our short form to generate that much revenue for us, and why we're so bullish on it in 2023 that you can apply to your short form. So the first one is traffic and friction, and I'm going to get into this. And the second one is what I've called this framework of the trifecta of influence, and I'm going to talk about this in today's video as well. I'm going to describe all of these for you in full. By the end of the video, you're going to have an idea of why our short form performs so well, even with a pretty humble audience of only, a couple thousand people who actually tuned in and watched them. I think our best performing one was 60,000 views, so we didn't even have one that popped off and got like 2 million views or anything. We just knew how to really use that traffic, and it was because we did these two things well: traffic and friction, and the trifecta of influence. So let's get into it. And by the way, if you stick around to the end of this video, I'm going to give you my dream content setup. I'm going to show you the microphone I used, the camera I used, as well. I'm going to show you kind of how to come up with ideas for your short form. So let's start off with that first of the two principles we're talking about: friction and traffic, or traffic and friction. You have to understand that right now the algorithms really bias short, quick, poppy content, because the social media gods are trying to do is, create an even more addictive social media type, which is, this scrolly short form content, which is just like, it gives you little hits of dopamine and you keep scrolling, and we all kind of have heard the whole spiel. It's not good for your brain basically, but people are hooked on it anyway. So traffic and friction. Well, first of all, traffic. The algorithms prefer short form. It's the easiest way to get traffic, but just traffic doesn't actually grow a business. You need some form of friction. So when you get a lot of traffic, you get a lot of attention, you need to send that traffic through a sequence of actions that pre-qualifies them or gets them ready for a sale, or at least lines them up and shows them, hey, this is what we have to offer, and creates just a little bit of friction, gets rid of the wrong people, attracts the right people, and moves them to a buying situation. Well, imagine if you were speaking in front of 50,000 people and you had 10 seconds to present. The odds of anybody buying are very slim. That's basically what Reels are. It's what TikTok is, what YouTube Shorts are. It's just this short, snappy piece of content that you can't build much depth of that audience, and that's where friction comes in. You build scale, you build traffic with short form, and then by adding friction, you create depth. So you are wide, but you're also deep. And how do you create depth to that relationship with your audience when you're just using short form content? It's not like a YouTube video like this where, I could tell you a bit about my story and tell you a bit about where I came from and how, my house burned down, and that's what threw me into entrepreneurship, and all these things that I could go on about that might get you bought into me and my brand. So I want you to understand that short form content doesn't actually make sales for you. You need a system on the back of it. And how do we do this? We have a simple link in our Instagram bio and on our TikTok bio, and I have our students in our programs do this, where if they're using short form, they just put what we call a nurture video, a 10 to 30 minute video describing what they do, how they do it, who it's for, and everything, so that then they're getting all this traffic and they're adding friction on the back to qualify and move people forward. And this has been a really simple way for us to get a handful of meetings every single day. We get an extra 3 to 6 meetings a day from this, if not way more, when we're really, really pumping it. And some of our clients even get, 20, 30 meetings a day for their services and products. So I want you to really think about short form content and traffic in general as just that. It's just traffic. There's nothing special about short form necessarily. It's just another form of traffic. With traffic, you need to introduce friction, introduce nurturing those leads and that audience so that they're actually ready for a buy sometime in the future. So the title of this video might be a little bit misleading, maybe even the thumbnail or whatever. It's not necessarily actually short form content that made us those sales. It's more so that we knew how to use that traffic, and we knew how to nurture traffic. We know how to nurture traffic generally so that they buy our stuff. If you want to learn how to make great nurturing videos, I really, really recommend the book One to Many by Jason Fladline. He's basically the webinar expert. He sold over $100 million worth of e-learning services, softwares, coaching programs, masterminds, whatever, with, 20 to an hour and a half long presentations that break false beliefs, warm people up, and get them ready to buy. So I read this book and I really liked it, and so I applied it to my business, and that's what happened. Now moving on to the second thing, the trifecta of influence. These are the 3 pillars of a magnetic personal brand, or a magnetic, character-driven brand, which I imagine if you are selling courses or coaching programs or something like that, or your service-based business, you're probably a personality-driven brand, which most people are right now. So what are these 3 pillars of a magnetic personal brand? Well, that's what makes up the trifecta. That's why it's called the trifecta of influence. At the very top, you have an attractive character. This is somebody who has a background, a story, a mission, values, beliefs, come up story of some sort, or maybe they discovered something that then helped them get somewhere. And the best influencers on the internet really think long and hard about how they want to position their story and who they want to be in their content, so that they themselves are the product, their brand, their face, their image. And then on the bottom left of this trifecta, you have a new opportunity, something they might not have heard of before, something that can help them see the same results that the attractive character has achieved, or that the attractive character has helped other people achieve, etc. So for example, let's say you are somebody who lost a little bit of weight. You can then tell your story of having lost that weight and then present a new opportunity around it, saying, hey, it's this diet plan that I use that nobody talks about that helped me do it, or something like that, right? So you got an attractive character, a new opportunity, and then on the other end of this triangle, this trifecta of influence, you have what we call a future-based cause. So a reason why this person is doing the thing they're doing. So something that's bigger than them, bigger than the audience and everything. And these aren't just surface level things. These are things that you actually really think about and ask, why am I doing what I'm doing? What is my message? Why should people even listen to me? Because I don't just want to be another voice. And I don't want to be another voice, speaking very personally. I don't want to just be another talking head. Like, I want to stand for something and mean something. And if I dramatically pass away tomorrow, I want my loss to mean something to the people that I served, whether they bought my stuff or not. And that is what I'm here to do. I want to add value to people. Thinking about all 3 of these things, character, new opportunity, and future-based cause, you can create that. So for example, our future-based cause is to give, entrepreneurs the systems and strategies needed to build wealth, to build multi-million-dollar businesses, or even just 6-figure businesses, so that they can live free, take care of their loved ones, and do work that they actually love and enjoy. And that's the future-based cause. And I believe that entrepreneurs are some of the last hopes for our, albeit dying civilization that needs leaders. So that's why I do what I do. Another reason why I do what I do is I want to help decentralize education. I believe if we can get more experts, niche experts, people who have knowledge, who have expertise, getting out there and selling it and actually profiting off of education, for-profit education, I believe that we can help restabilize our culture by getting leaders back in place. That's just a little bit about me, though. You got to think about, what's your story, what's your background, what are your values, what's the opportunity you're presenting, what is the cause, the reason for being. And if you can communicate these things, maybe not all at once in every single piece of short form, but little pieces here and there, so that you create this sort of collective brand, this collective relationship with your audience, then you can drive a deeper relationship through your short form, as opposed to just being noisy and loud on the front end. You actually create a deeper relationship with people over time. And then say at some point you come out with an offer or you sell something, they'll be much more likely to buy it because they built a relationship with you, attractive character. They want to learn more about the opportunity you present, new opportunity, and they believe in the mission and vision and cause of your brand, future-based cause. So now I want to talk about how to actually come up with short form content ideas and how to make the short form content that you're going to make so that it actually helps you grow your business. Well, first of all, I used to be a wedding photographer, and I tell this story all the time. This is how I found e-learning. I was a wedding photographer, and I sold a wedding photography course, and I did over 100,000 that first year, right? But back then I learned how to do lighting and camera setups and everything like that. And a lot of my friends are videographers and photographers, and that's just kind of the realm that I came from. So, don't compare your setup to mine necessarily. I spend a lot, investing into the look of my YouTube videos and sometimes my reels and everything like that. You don't necessarily need to do that. It's more just preference for me because, I don't know, it just makes me feel the part and it helps my content feel the part, which is important in the long term. But in the short term, you can literally just use an iPhone and some natural light like these windows. Like my wife and I literally just made this move to this new apartment because I knew that in 2023 content was going to be very important for us, and I was sick and tired of having a very boring office background. And I also wanted all this beautiful natural light so I can make a ton of content. So an iPhone and natural light is really the only setup that you're gonna really need. But if you wanted to go above and beyond, I highly recommend getting a mirrorless full frame camera like what I have right now on my camera setup. I have a Canon EOS R5 that I technically bought for my wife for her photography business, but I end up using it for my videos because it's just so freaking good. And I have a 15 to 35 millimeter f2.8L lens, and it has enough zoom that I can pretty much cover all my bases and not necessarily worry about, having to change lenses or anything. And it's really good for just this, talking head style video. And I use a Shure SMB7 as a microphone. This thing is, I think it was like $600. It's what Joe Rogan uses, so I figured it was pretty good. And by the way, the camera setup in total was over $6,000, so it is not, an entry-level thing. Again, like I said, an iPhone and some natural light is going to be fine. And then to film your short-form content, you want to kind of block off about 2 hours, and the first 20 minutes of which you actually get on your phone, you look at influencers who are like you or somewhat like you look at some of their content, and you just take a pen and a pad and you write down your own ideas. You don't necessarily have to be fully original. You can actually just steal, quote, steal ideas from people that are somewhat like you and kind of repurpose them with your own angle and your own twist. And this is actually the same principle that got my YouTube channel off the ground back in 2019, and I made my first $1 million off of YouTube. I made a video about that if you want to check it out here on the channel, how I used YouTube to make my first million. Kind of a cool video. You can go check that out if you want. It's just this principle of looking at what your competitors are doing and then repurposing it with your own twist so that it's got your own style, your own trifecta of influence on top of it, and that way you can build a relationship with your audience, build a new audience, and sort of steal some of that traffic off of other people's platforms and sort of just be a part of the public consciousness, the public conversation, while still getting people bought into your specific brand. So spend 20 minutes looking at what other people are doing, and then if you have an audience, you have something going, just put up a question and answers poll. Say, hey, I'm doing a Q&A today. What do you want to learn more about? And then look at those questions and answers and use those questions as inspiration to run your content off of. It's very simple. Then when you're filming your reels, just make sure your camera is upright, so it's got that vertical thing, and just answer those questions directly to the camera. Very simple. And then you can also take some of this competition research that you've done and use it as well to inspire you. And I've got one last little resource for you for free. It's gonna be linked in the description. It's basically just a bunch of questions you can ask yourself that inspire your real topics if you're actually trying to use short form content to nurture an audience and get them to buy your stuff. So that's the end of today's video. I hope you've enjoyed, and I hope you've taken something away from it, and I hope you're gonna go and take action and actually do what I'm telling you to do in this video and use it to make more money, serve more people, create more revenue for your company or whatever it is you're trying to do with short form content. If you've enjoyed this video, please leave a like down below, subscribe to the channel, and let me know your thoughts. Let me know what you think about short form. Is it good? Is it bad? Is it something we should be investing into as business owners? Is it something that you think you wish it would just go away in replacement of maybe mentally healthy long form content like podcasts, or who knows what, something that maybe isn't so damaging to our dopamine cycles and rhythms? Let me know what you think in the comments below. I will see all those comments and reply to them and just have a discussion. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next video.